Hi, my name is Abe Kazemzadeh, and I'm a professor at the University of St. Thomas Graduate Programs in Software. This summer, Professor Eric Level and I did a faculty partnership project, which was made possible by a grant from the Center for Faculty Development. In this project, we looked at how to effectively use video in the classroom. And to do this, we started by teaching ourselves the basics of producing and editing video content, with an emphasis on using tools we already have, like smartphone cameras and university-provided software. The intro to this video is an example of a technique that we learned about that can make videos a bit more artful. It's called the 5-shot sequence, and it originates with video journalists making interviews a little bit more interesting by adding what's known as B-roll footage, some kind of contextual footage. In this technique, we first get a shot of the subject's hands, then their face, then the room, and then an over-the-shoulder shot, and then some kind of creative shot for the 5th shot of the sequence. In this video, I also want to show a brief demo of an open source video editing tool called Openshot, used together with Panopto, a tool provided by the university to record video streams from webcams and screencasts. So right now I have Panopto running. You can see on this screen there's the Panopto screen, and I'm going to move that over to my laptop's main screen, and we'll be capturing the secondary screen, which has Openshot running on it. And so I have just using the laptop external monitor and this mic, which cost about $130, and I'm also using a tripod, a selfie stick / tripod, which cost about $25. Okay, so now I'll turn over to the webcam and show you the interface of Openshot. So this here, this window here is called Project Files. So first I'm going to drag and drop videos into this place for project files. I have a Dropbox account set up so that my cell phone camera gets backed up to Dropbox, and you may be able to make this work with St. Thomas's Microsoft SharePoint or OneDrive. I'm not sure what it's called, but I just use Dropbox because I have it already set up. So if we see here, I have the videos in my camera uploads folder, and what I'm going to do is drag them into the project files. So here's one, that's the shot of my hands. Here's 2, that's the shot of my face. Here's 3. That's the shot of the room. This is the shot of over my shoulders. And this is the creative shot of my coffee maker. So to put these into the video, we'll drag these down into a track. And so I'll drag them into, here it says track 5. So now we can see what this looks like by playing it. Okay, so when we have the shots overlap a bit, there'll be some blue bars that show up. See here it wanted to stick to a certain point. If you turn off that magnet icon, it will be a little bit more fluid. Sometimes you want it to stick to a given point. Sometimes you want it to be fluid. So right now, I'll turn that back on. So now if we move the cursor back to the beginning, we'll see what it looks like with transitions. So you might be able to make this a little bit fancier by changing the transitions a bit or cleaning up the edits. But for now, that is a fine start. And when you think about it, it's kind of meta because we're recording ourselves and I'm watching myself in there. So it's kind of meta when you think about it, a little bit like Inception or something. Okay, so now when you've recorded on Panopto and closed Panopto, then you can go into a menu and find the tracks that it recorded. So you go to Actions and then select Show Files. And then it'll open up a window that looks like this. And it'll have two different files, one of the screencast and then one of the webcam. So we'll do the same like we did for the cell phone video footage, and we'll drag that into the project files. Okay, and then we'll put these down here in their own tracks. And I'll show you why we're going to do this. It's so that the audio will be synchronized. So the top track is in the foreground, so that'll be the screencast. The webcam has the audio. That will be in the foreground regardless. In places where we want to have the webcam footage show, we'll put a transition in the top screencast track. And that will blank that out, and then we'll see the webcam track underneath. And by default, the transition is a fade. So here you can see that we have the video from the screencast. And to put a transition in, we'll go here, and so there's a lot of different options here. The best one I found was just fade. So if we put the fade here and then cue this up and play it. So that had a fade in it. The way that we can change it so that it just is completely blocking out the screencast track is to right click on the transition and go to properties. So this will show us the properties, and the properties that we want to set is brightness. So at the beginning of the track, you can see that the brightness value is 1, and there's this kind of weird upside down or rotated sigma. And then if we use this little skip ahead button, we'll go here to the last part of the transition, and you can see here that it's -1. And so what we're going to do is just change that to be 1. So both the beginning and the end will have brightness of 1. So now when we play this, we'll start looking at the screencast, and then it'll transition into the webcam and then back to the screencast. So let's do that right now. Video with emphasis on using tools we already have, like smartphone cameras and university provided software. The intro to this video is an example of a technique that we learned about that can make videos a bit more artful. It's called the 5-shot sequence, and it originates with video journalists. Okay, so you can kind of imagine how you would go through and switch back and forth between the screencast and the webcam footage, depending upon whether you're talking to the audience is more important or whether the screen is more important. And then another trick that you could do is select this transition, which we already set so that it doesn't fade. It just is a completely blocked out section. So if we just copy this and paste it, then we don't have to reset those transition properties anymore. So just as an example, we can find a place where we want to put another blocked out part. A little bit fancier by changing the transitions a bit. So right here we might want to put. But for now, that is a fine start. And when you think about it, it's kind of meta because we're recording ourselves and we're also watching myself in there. So it's kind of meta when you think about it, a little bit like Inception or something. Okay, well, we won't go too deep today, but there you have it. It's a brief demo of video production using a smartphone, a tripod, an external mic, Openshot and Panopto, and a clapper, although you don't really need one of those. If you're interested in learning more, please see our write-up. We'd like to keep the conversation going. Thanks.
Well, I'm Eric Level, and thanks for watching, and thanks to the Center for Faculty Development for sponsoring our project. We appreciate it. Thanks.